Hello, friends. Hope you are doing good in this COVID situation and everyone is safe and healthy. So, today I am going to present the topic on the information security, and it's one of the domain that is web security. So, today it is kind of the awareness section where you will get to know about what is the information security and what is the myth and what usually people consider it as the cyber security. So what is the difference between the information and the cyber security, and how you can make a career into this hot domain that's nowadays. And also we will get some insights into the its domain, the web security, and we will see some hands-on as well in this, in the web security. So okay, so let's start. Hope you will enjoy this session. So yeah, the today's agenda in this is the information security and the career into information security and its domain. So what is the information security? So basically information security is the usually referred to the processes and the methodologies which are designed and implement to protect the information. And the information can be in any form. It can be in the form of paper, electronic, or the data resides in the drive, or the data that flow in the network. So it usually to secure the data, or specifically we can say the sensitive data in any form, from the misuse, disclosure, destruction, and modifications. So one guy also said that information security is a well-informed sense of assurance that the information, risk, and control are in balance. Means information security is related to the, if there is a risk is exist, then we should have to implement some control that is used to mitigate that risk. Let's suppose you are running a web application over the internet, and if you are not using the firewall, then it will be the most vulnerable. It will be the more vulnerable to the attacks, your web application. So if you implement the control, the firewall, and you configure it properly, then you will be less susceptible to the web attacks. So the assurance that is provided, that is related to the information security. And like I already said, the information security used to protect the information in any form. And it has usually three principles, or on which usually it usually we protect the information. So these are like CIA triangle. That means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So what is the confidentiality means? Confidentiality means that our information or our data will be accessible to only the authorized person. Can any unknown or unauthorized person will not access it. Let's suppose in a college, if the financial department is that handles the salary, so that salary statement or will be only accessible by the finance head. It will not be accessible to the any other guy. And another goal or the triad of information security is the integrity. Integrity that usually speak about that information should be in its original form. We have to protect the information from any modification. So we have to ensure that the integrity of the information should be in place. So how you can ensure it? By making the information password protected, by using some hash or encryption, so that nobody can modify the information. The third is the availability. Availability means your information should be available when it is required. So, web, like banking application, usually they are 24 into 7 available. It means that if anytime the user wants to access the banking website, it should be available when the user wants. So the websites or the web applications that have the very active and large user space, they usually more more focus on this availability goal, because if they will be down even for few minutes or hours, then it will be the big loss for them. Recently, a few months back when the Google service was down, so that cost him too much amount. So information security and its whole domain, or every domain is revolved around these three goals. So anybody who is working in information security, they have to ensure that what are kind of the roles they are having, they should be aligned with this CIA track. So everybody is having in this mind, and is very important. So yeah, next is like most of us usually correlate cybersecurity as the information security, but information security is a very big domain, and cybersecurity is the part of that domain. So here in the diagram you can see the big circle is the information security, and that composed two more circles, cyber security and then network security. So what is the basic difference between the information and cyber? Information security means that covers everything. That means the data at any form, either it is in transit, at rest, or at store. Any form, the data should be protected. And the cybersecurity means the data that flow in the cyberspace, like that flow on the internet, that should be protected. So there are few more differences between the information and cybersecurity. So information security, it deals with the protection of data from any form of threat, but the cybersecurity that usually deals to protect the data usually from the cyber attack. And information security strives against unauthorized access, disclosure, modifications, and disruption, while cybersecurity strikes against cybercrime, cyber fraud, and law enforcement. And information security, it deals with the information assets and integrity, confidentiality, and availability. But while cybersecurity, it deals with the threats that may or may not be exist in cyber reality, such as protecting your social media account and personal information, etc. So the evolution of cybersecurity. So now with the time, lots of security solutions are coming in the market that usually stop the that usually restrict the malicious user. And like if we talk about in the 90s, so that time of the major attack usually happened through the viruses, and against viruses, but we controls we have antivirus and firewalls. Then in 2000, it, the cyber attackers, they evolved and they were using the bombs. So to attack that, to mitigate or to restrict from that kind of attacks, we have to update our antivirus and firewalls. We have to, nowadays we are using the next generation firewalls that that are very active, and that restrict the latest cyber attacks related to the worms and viruses and trojans. And then in after the worms, the cyber attackers, they also evolve with time, and now they are using botnets. So what exactly happened in this botnet? Botnet actually is the network of infected devices that are controlled by the attacker, and how they can get control over the smart device by infecting it using the viruses. And if the lots of the infected devices are in control of attacker, then they can perform the DDoS attack. So how we can prevent against this? We should use some DLP solutions and SIM solutions that use like monitoring solutions that can detect these attacks at the early stages. And nowadays, the most common or mostly attacks are using the APT, that is Advanced Persistent Threat. So what happened in this attacks? Cyber criminals, they used to very target the high level uh, persons of information in the organization. So it takes lots of the time to exploit or to get the information from the organization. So like uh, like yesterday in the newspaper, we got to know that there was the shutdown of electricity happened in Mumbai, and that was done by the Chinese hacker. So that was the part of the that attack comes under the APT attack. And also, USA also shut down the Iran